What's up, y'all? It's Moon. Yay! Welcome to my channel. I'm here for my first video, so thank you for joining me. So, there have been some recent developments in my own personal life, and baby, we could talk about that at a later time. So, it's a lot. But I just wanted to talk about showing up for yourself because I'm 30 years old currently, and I have had so many dreams that I've wanted to follow through with, and I just have not. And so I've gotten to this point of like, no more. We've got to show up. We've got to show up. I've noticed that a lot of moms and other women tend to do this as well. And so I feel like a lot of times we end up showing up for everybody else before ourselves, or even if we're showing up for everybody else and not even showing up for ourselves. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. We've got to start pushing to be here for ourselves and be present. Showing up matters because it helps increase your self-esteem. I've noticed that the more I show up for myself, the more I define who I am and what I'm capable of, instead of allowing other people to define who I am. It helps us to also put physical action to our self-worth. So what I mean by that, for example, is your girl, you see her hair is fresh, not the edges, I need a little gel, but that's all right. But I did my own hair. I did my own hair this weekend. I made it a goal, a physical goal of mine to do my hair so that I can look good, because when I look good, I feel good. And so that was one of my personal goals this weekend, was to show up for myself by doing my hair so that I look good, so that I fuel my own self-worth. And so I think that's so important that we continue to do the output actions, the things that we can see, so that it helps us to gain insight into our internal self-worth. So that's something that's been very helpful for me in this season, and I hope it helps too for you. It also helps to show up for yourself because it helps with your mental health, obviously. I know we've had a lot more conversations about it as a society, and that it's definitely something that we need to consider more in our lives. And so for me, showing up for myself definitely improves mental health. She is always in thought mode of and always running and doing the things that I need to do. However, that doesn't mean that I'm showing up for myself all the time. Let's think about it this way. When you go to work out, a lot of times you don't want to do the things, you don't want to do it. But the benefit is that when you put yourself in, and when you get yourself through the exercise and you're getting through and you're like, I'm doing it. And then you finish and you're like, I did it, that helps to boost your mood. One, because you actually exercise, because your girl, I'm in that process too. And, just getting out there, getting to exercise, but also following through and finishing something helps to increase your mental health and your status with yourself. And so the more you focus on the positive moves and the following through, the more you learn to trust yourself. Let's talk about some tips and tricks to showing up for yourself. I have been on high with this right now. I have been doing it pretty faithfully for the last month or so, maybe a little under a month, but I have already started to see results of being consistent and being willing to show up for myself. My first tip is to prioritize self-care. Something I've noticed, and I don't know about y'all, but for me, I realized that a lot of times when I would prioritize self-care in the past, it was me putting self-care last. So I literally would wait all week till Saturday to do my hands and nails, you know, do my manicure, pedicure. I usually do it myself. So, you know, sit in my little tub and sit and relax and all that, instead of, you know, every day giving myself an opportunity to prioritize self-care. So what I've done is actually create a morning routine recently so that I put that into action every day, and to continue to push myself to truly prioritize self-care. So like right now I'm doing, you know, journaling, I'm doing, you know, some affirmations, I'm doing some gratitudes. I call it the gratitudes. And so I do a little bit of everything, and I take a shower, I'm making sure I get, you know, my breakfast ready. I work from home, so I'm still working from home. Yes. And because of that, I can kind of be a little bit more lax in terms of my morning schedule. I take some time to enjoy the outdoors. I'll, you know, do some exercise. Like, I'm trying to do the things before my day starts. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it does get away from me because I have a project I have to work on for work. It has to get done. So I get it, life happens. But I still try to, I would say 9 times out of 10, get the thing done, even if, you know, in that day, even if it's going to be later, because it still matters to me. So I think that's very important to truly prioritize. Like, every day, this is a process. This is something that's important to me. And so I need to make sure that I am feeding myself so that I literally can help others or be present for other things in my life. And of course, like, to continue to increase my self-esteem, to increase my self-confidence, to increase my self-worth. Like, I am responsible for that. And so with self-care, it helps me prioritize myself. So another tip that I have is to set boundaries. I know we hear this beautiful word, and something that I had downloaded into my mind a little while back was that boundaries are an action. And a lot of times we say, I'm not gonna put up with this anymore, right? Or I'm not gonna put up with this particular action from someone, or this particular behavior, or whatever it is that is the issue. And a lot of times that's our boundary. One of the things that I've started to incorporate into my own life is that a boundary is an action. So if someone says something off handle to you, and you said that you weren't going to participate in that particular action, then what is your response to that? So the response to it is that's your true boundary. So I would highly consider rethinking what a boundary looks like to you. My third tip for showing up for yourself is to practice self-compassion. And that is a very difficult thing to do. It really is, because I feel like more times than not, we focus on the negative than the positive. And so we're all human. So we're all allowed to make mistakes. And also not sit in the guilt and the shame of whatever it was that happened. Things happen. I'm so serious. Like, there are plenty of things that I have done that I'm not proud of, and I'm sure there have been things that you're not proud of. And, you know, of course, forgiveness and you know, asking for apologies and all that stuff is very important. So do what you got to do. But I would say also be aware that it is important to forgive yourself and to be compassionate with yourself and give yourself grace, because life is a journey. It's not going to be black or white, and it's just not going to be that way. So in this life, I would hope that we all learn to be compassionate with others, yes, but we have to deal with ourselves every day. You have to be with you every day. So focus on forgiving yourself as if you're a whole other person, Forgive yourself for the things that didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Forgive yourself for the things that you said or did towards other people, and just keep moving and show up for the person that you want to be. My fourth and final tip would be to practice till you make it. I'm not a fan of the saying fake it till you make it. I am more about practice, because the more you practice it, the more it becomes like what you want. And so it's so important for you to get in the habits, and like I said earlier, you know, putting the actions to your self-worth. And so keep doing the things, you know, keep trying different things that you thought you couldn't do. Like I'm doing YouTube today, yay. And you know, just do the things, try the things, and maybe do, you know, a little research or whatever you got to do, make yourself feel good. However, get to what you want to do, like get to it, and be okay with the practice stage. I think a lot of us, especially as kids, I'll say this, yeah, a lot of us as kids, we're groomed to think about things in the sense of like black or white, pass or fail, that kind of thing. And so there's never room for like this thing called continuous improvement, or just allowing room for us to learn from those situations. Like we're not going to get it right all the time, and it's okay. Well, now you see what you know you've done, and you've seen the result of whatever the thing was. So now let's try something different if it didn't work, you know, and that's okay. Now we know better, and we keep on moving, you know. So those are my 4 tips for showing up for yourself. I know it's helped in my journey, so I hope that it will help in yours. Thank you for joining me today. Please share your experiences and your thoughts in the comment section below, and like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.